As a video and photography enthusiast, half the fun is keeping up with tech. And since I last released a video, there have been so many cameras that have been released. There's the Sony a7 Mark IV, the Sony a6600, the Sony a6100, the Nikon Z6, the Nikon Z50, the Canon M6 Mark II, the upcoming Fuji X Pro 3, the Olympus EM5 Mark III, the iPhone 11, and the Pixel 4. Cameras as we know it are going through a massive change. But here's a quick history lesson on digital cameras as per my experience. For me, it all started with this Sony camera. I got this when I finished high school all those years ago. The camera quality, it wasn't so great. And then I got this camcorder around college. It was a big deal shooting at 1080p at the time. I shot my first video jobs on this camera. And then came the iPhone 6s. The video was so good it replaced my camcorder and I took gimbal shots on this. And finally the G7, which was a consumer camera, but it was so good, it was literally good enough for broadcast. Literally a consumer camera that's good enough for TV. DSLRs and cinema cameras have had a fairly large lead over consumer cameras. In that time, cinema film cameras were here, digital prosumer cameras here, and entry level was around here. But these days, the difference between the highest end cameras and the lowest end cameras is actually much smaller. Cinema cameras are more here, prosumers here, and smartphone cameras are here. And there's still a host of differences, but the main differences for me are the dynamic range and the low light capability. Because normally cameras don't have as much dynamic range as our eyes, and they also can't see in the dark. That all changed last year with the Pixel 3 and this year's iPhone 11 and Pixel 4. And if we're talking about low light capability, some of you are probably complaining thinking, well, what about the A7S? That could shoot in the dark, and that's true. But the thing with that camera is that it basically used the same principles that all cameras before it have. Slightly better processing, but mostly better hardware. In other words, it played by the same rules as cameras before it. And that all changed with the Pixel 3 last year, and I was supposed to make a video on that, but I decided to hold off just because I wasn't sure if it was only going to be a Google thing, but now with iPhone 11 from Apple, it's official. Expect to see this from every major smartphone manufacturer from here on out. So why is this so different, you ask?
It's different because the rules have fundamentally changed. It's kind of like there is no spoon, or all of a sudden we're on a motorbike. Because what's happened here is they've Captain America these smartphones. They've taken something with physical limitations like a soldier and basically given it powers to go well beyond that, or what we thought was possible in the past anyway. It's no longer necessarily trying to improve image quality through better hardware, so larger sensors, larger pixels, and what have you. It's really trying to do it through software, so that's AI, machine learning, deep learning, and as much as we hate to admit it, this is a game changer.
Like falling in love, it's changed things forever. And it's opened up a whole new way of creating media. And the thing is, if big cameras don't adapt, then they're gonna end up like a dinosaur. You know, big and extinct. The good news is that doesn't mean that interchangeable lens cameras are dead yet. And sure, there are still hurdles for bigger cameras, like having a processor that's powerful enough to handle all that data without overheating. But the fact is, all that technology packed into a smartphone can be packed into a larger and bulkier package. And can you imagine how good things can get when you merge better hardware with cutting-edge software?
I feel like we're on the cusp of another digital revolution, similar to what DSLRs were going through just 10 years ago. And aren't you happy that we're all just coming along for the ride?